Hello, hello, good evening, welcome back. A little bit of a delay, mostly because of food delivery. And today was a little bit of a hectic day because the scores came out, so everybody was busy chatting and consolidating their experiences. So our today's agenda is very simple. We'll go through some XAT 18 decision making questions, and essentially I will put the question in front of you, and then I'll ask you to choose, and not only choose but present your reasoning in terms of why do you think this choice is better than the other, and basically try and evaluate all of them and then come to the best possible answer. So that's the idea. Hi, good evening. I am still waiting because today I have not been able to announce it earlier, but instead of planning too much, I just thought I'll go live and inform everyone. And anyway, this can be pursued later as well. So while we are waiting, we can actually get started. Uh, Read the case, read the story, and then try out the first question at least. If you are a coast member, ZAT decision making coast member, then all the CAT, sorry, ZAT 18 cases have been loaded on the course page in PDFs and everything. Download them or solve them on the site itself. Hi, good evening to everyone. Is it readable? Should be. So let's read the story together. Madhuri Apte, a busy professional, rents out her studio apartment located in South Mumbai. So, South Mumbai studio apartment looks like a rich person since she stays 3 hours away from the studio apartment. Okay, great. She uses a network digital lock to monitor the property remotely. Okay. So if you notice, most of the ZAT cases, none of them are very difficult to read, or the language will not be challenging 99% of the time, right? Very easy stories to digest. Each customer gets a temporary and unique access code for the digital lock that enables them to enter the studio apartment for the duration of stay. So she's renting out her apartment. The apartment has a digital network lock. The customer gets a temporary access code, and the story is straightforward enough. The apartment's entrance door can also be opened with physical keys, and Madhuri Apte has two such keys in her possession. Madhuri Apte has also employed a cleaner who has permanent access code to enter the apartment for cleaning every day. So, two physical keys, and there's a cleaner who has the permanent access code. The cleaner, is available only between 3 and 5 p.m. I think 1500 means 3 p.m. and 1700 means 5 p.m. Madhuri's Apte's apartment caters largely to international customers. A customer typically stays for 3 days, paying an average rent of $125 per day. That means 3 days means around 375, $400 or so is the typical payoff that she gets for this 3 days of renting out. Okay, great. So the story is very, very easy. Now let's look at the question. And before I give my reasons, I'm waiting hopefully for some answers in terms of what you think, right, about the situation. While Madhuri Apte's studio apartment gets good feedback on other aspects, many seem unhappy as they found the operation of the digital lock complicated. Which of the following options is the best for Madhuri Apte in this context? So, if anybody is there, I am waiting for your any answers for this question. Question number 17. Which of the following is the best for Madhuri Apte? Option A, Madhuri should switch to a physical lock. Madhuri, on request, should send one of the physical keys 5 days ahead of customer's arrival at an extra charge of $75. Madhuri should request the cleaner to explain the working of the digital access code to customers for an extra charge. Madhuri should do nothing as digital lock shall be the norm in the future. E. Madhuri should create a video manual on how to use the digital access code and email it to the customers before their arrival. So Soham says E, Ankit says E, Lekhang also says E, right? So Soham and Ankit and Lekhang are all going to that directly because E is the correct answer. Yeah, any other choices that you want to debate or like evaluate it on its merit? So, and when I do it, it's going to be the process of logic and critical thinking, and critical thinking also means considering all possibilities, right? So we'll do that. Any other answers other than E? Jai Mahakal. Hashtag. 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 So, shall I move on, or is there more? And I think the logic should be fairly clear. I'll just run through it. So, people are unhappy with the operation of the digital lock, right? So, that's the problem. You're looking for a solution. Switching to a physical lock is might not work for her. It might work for the customer, but she wants a network lock that she can operate from a faraway place, and she wants this digital access mechanism for convenience. If they're not understanding what is happening in the log, perhaps explaining. And as I read the choices, I do see that there is an explanation part available. So maybe that is definitely a better choice. Now, Madhuri on request should send one of the physical keys 5 days. So this is more work, even though she's charging money for it. But 5 days before the customer arrival, she's sending one extra key. The workload is increasing. Madhuri should request the cleaner to explain the working. The cleaner is only available from 3 to 5. Again, problematic solution. Madhuri should do nothing. Again, a passive, completely passive choice is not always recommended. People are unhappy, people are complaining, so maybe something should be done. And when I look at E, it's perfect. Create a little video manual which explains how the lock works because I think it's a communication problem mostly. So yeah, easy enough choice, right? It's a video manual, not a reading manual. Somebody said, "Isn't reading a manual a hassle?" No. So video manuals are very very common, especially like it's that 2018. It's post internet zamana. So video manuals on how to operate complicated technology are very very common now, definitely these days, right? So I'll move to the next question. Try it out. 18. Ganesh says, why not B? Madhuri, I mentioned the problems with this. One is, let's say, right now the operation is so smooth. Somebody books my apartment, I give them a code, they just go there and they handle it, right? But now I am going to send an extra key 5 days before the customer's arrival. Then that extra key will also have to be taken back, and that all of that management is coming, logistical extra work is coming in the way. Compared to that, isn't E better? Because the problem is only in operating the lock. The maid is operating the lock. Nobody says that the lock is faulty or there's a problem with the lock, right? So the only problem is they found the operation a little bit, not little bit, they found the operation complicated. So make that process simple where the problem is, right? So I hope you understand why B is not the best choice. Now, if you remove everything, right? If you do not know how to make a video and you have like 20 keys lying around, you're living in Bombay and you're like, Acha, I have keys and I'll just send a boy, it's nothing for me. So it's not that there's something very wrong with B. It is just that you have to look for best possible option out of the choices given. Are we okay with that? So now moving to the next question. Madhuri's apartment received good feedback from the guests, except with respect to the operation of the digital lock. She decided to leave a spare physical key in the house for her guests. Recently, some of the guests had forgotten to leave the key behind during checkout. Making a spare key will cost $500 and will take 10 days to arrive. She was confused if she should continue leaving the spare key and was looking for a way out. So she's leaving a spare physical key in the house for the guests, but the guests are taking the keys away. So and it's expensive, it's $500. It's more than what she's on an average getting from a customer. It's around $375 or so, right? And a time delay of 10 days, which is complicated. So the issue is that you don't want to lose the keys. What is the solution? Waiting for your answers, guys. So mostly between D and E. So I will eliminate the rest of the options for a second and look at only these two. So send polite reminders to guests before checkout date and on the day of checkout to leave the key behind. And E says charge a security deposit. So essentially, what is better for her in terms of to not suffer a loss of $500? What will work as a better reminder for the customer? Just a reminder, or the fact that $100 are locked away and you won't get it till you give the key back, even though the key is more expensive, but the cost is only there to work as a reminder. So between D and E, which is a better sure shot reminder? Because okay, you will send a polite reminder, but maybe the guest will not remember because he's on a holiday, he has 20 things going on, and at the last minute he will be moving in a hurry and still take the key, right? But if there is $100 deposit there and out of a budget of around $400, that means it's a reasonable chunk for a mental burden, right? That okay, I have to take that $100 from there. So my option, better option would be option E, right? Now, again, life is complicated, so maybe after 1 month, she will realize that the customers are very annoyed with this $100 deposit because they often forget and they are giving her bad reviews on the new website or whatever. So then you will change the solution to say, okay, send polite reminders only, keep very many keys, get a cheap key maker or something, or a new technology or whatever, right? So all as usual, as I said earlier, all we have to do is look at the best possible choice. Are we okay with this? That's it. Okay. So this was the last case, or case 7 for ZAT 18. Let me try out. Let's try out another one. Case 6. Very interesting. Try it out, guys. Read the story and then pick a choice. Yes, Shubham says, and even if the customers do not leave the key behind, she would at least get $100, right? So there is definitely a better choice. Yes, I agree. So my tip for such questions would be to, in the beginning, at least in the training stage, would be to not do too many questions in a day and then confuse yourself. Do three, four, five, six, maximum five, six questions in a day. Absorb the process. Think about it. Go very, very slow in the beginning. Those who are trying it for the first time and struggling. Some of you will find it very, very easy. You will find it almost commonsensical level easy and say, yeah, I'm getting 75% accuracy, and reading it is like a breeze because I can do this very, very quickly. So, but if you're struggling and you want to really like master the process, slow down. Five, six questions a day, reason it out very, very well, right? For yourself at least. Ramesh, the owner of an auto component manufacturing company in Sanand, had just returned after the funeral of his employee Pankaj, who died of cancer at the age of 35. Pankaj was a hard-working and sincere employee with impeccable performance record. Okay, hard-working, sincere. Pankaj was a sole breadwinner for his family with negligible savings and was survived by his wife and two school-going children. His wife will get around 8 lakh rupees accrued to Pankaj as social security benefit. A large number of employees wanted the organization to employ Pankaj's wife on compassionate grounds so that she could support her family. Though Ramesh was, though, keyword, though Ramesh was sympathetic to the demand, he realized that this could set up precedent. That means later again, more people will ask for the same demand over and over again, where the organization will have to provide jobs for everyone with similar conditions in the future. Okay. In fact, only recently Ramesh had refused a request for a job to a daughter of an employee who had died a few months before he was to retire. So it already said no to a similar request, and I've almost read the whole story. So now let's look at the question. Ramesh formed a committee to look into this matter, and the committee came up with the following suggestions. And the final question is, why is it saying my internet connection is unstable? And the final question was, which of the following options from the above suggestions will be the most sustainable for Pankaj's family? So sustainable, that means think long term and a permanent solution that works forever, hopefully. So Johnny has already given me an answer. Ganesh says A. Johnny says 3. So Johnny says option C, I'm assuming. That means 3 and 4. And Ganesh says 1 and 2. So let's start reading also. Create a fund to take care of immediate family expenses. Now, I look at the word sustainable and I look at the word immediate. Just that much is enough. And I've read the other choices as well. Avinash says B, Lekhang says B, Yash says E, Soham says C, Rohan says E, Vishal says D. Oh my god, Swapnika says B, Shubham says B. Give out your reasons also, maybe, right? Why not A? Why not 1 and 2? So let me read. Create a fund to take care of immediate family expenses. I am looking for a sustainable solution. I will create a fund, I will give them some money, but 6 months later, 1 year later, they will run out of those funds. Then what will happen, right? So I have to think long term. So compared to that, finance the school and college education of his children is definitely a long-term sustainable solution, right? Because then they will be self-reliant and they will be able to take care of themselves if I provide the education, right? So between one and two is definitely long-term more sustainable. So I hope we realize why one is not going to work for me. Not one, I mean statement one, or just between one and two. Two is definitely better. Three, sponsor the vocational education of his wife and subsequently help her find a job. Even this is a good solution because long term, right? You make her self reliant and she'll take care of her own self and her family. Uh, Purchase insurance for all the family members, but how will that insurance money comes in when you die, right? So how will that take care of the family now or in the immediate future, unless another family member dies, right? That money comes in there. So 4 is definitely not going to work for me. So option C again is problematic. Request all employees of the organization to contribute towards the welfare of the family. I mean, this happens a lot in a lot of organizations, typically in even in government of India, when there's a calamity, people contribute money and everything. But I am looking, so they will contribute also, but I'm looking at a sustainable long-term solution. So now I say again, perhaps evaluate your choices, and I hope what the arguments that I have given, right? I'm not still not talking about an answer right now, but I'm saying I have presented certain arguments. Do they make sense? And is the process of making arguments making sense? And that's why the ZDM course, I have mentioned this multiple times, should be done only after the extensive CR course minimum. What other kind of Ganesh says the insurance doesn't need to be life insurance. What other kind of insurance is there? What do you mean by insurance then? What do you mean by an insurance? Tell me. Like, okay, explain the instrument to me. The question wasn't why not an insurance, right? It was the question was what are the best possible choices, and even there he had given me a mixed bag of combinations, right? So when I look at these combinations, the school and college education or training, essentially training the person so that they can look out for themselves, is definitely the more sustainable solution. So first is I want you to I am thinking of life insurance. If there is other kind of insurance, please explain it to me. So okay, you buy them health insurance, right? Okay, something goes wrong with you, but that health insurance once again comes into play. Insurance essentially comes into play when there is a accident. The whole concept of insurance is that only that you are preparing against an accident. Here, the accident or whatever the death has already happened. They've got some 8 lakh rupees already. Now, what do you think is the best course of action? Yeah, I just mentioned this. Rohan said the same thing that I was talking in live. He said that purchasing insurance in this situation, what are you buying it for? So you buy a health insurance, you maybe everybody is healthy and 2 years away from the next accident, right? So then they can't take care of or how even if it happens, how is it a long term solution? Compared to that, if I send someone to college and I make them very very smart, no matter till they're alive, no matter what life throws at them, they'll be good enough to handle it and participate in the economy. Yeah, so somebody said health insurance. Think of health insurance also, right? Health insurance will come in handy once, twice when there is a disease. But what about the day-to-day existence of the grind of life? For that, education or vocational training for the wife is definitely okay. Somebody said, what about the expenses for the company? It said sustainable for Pankaj's family. Did not say too much about the expense part of it, right? And even the CEO, when he said that he's not interested in like making up, setting up precedents like this, is not necessarily because of money, but also because whether it's a fit or not, whether the person that you're hiring will fit in the organization, are they trained or not, will it be the right choice or not, etc. So money wasn't really given as a barrier, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Are we okay with it? So my final answer, I think, should be, I think, okay, it's not a doc, it's a PDF. Right, so Shubham and Rahul and Rohan and I are saying the same thing, that insurance is not a very good choice. I mean, again, it's comparative, it's relative, right? Once you figure out that they have jobs and training and everything, then you say, okay, I will gift you an insurance, right? So it's not that option E, option E. 3 and 5 sponsor the vocational training, great. Request all employees of the organization to contribute. Again, you are saying that Rohan says they will get a decent amount of money. They're getting 8 lakh already, and I have no idea asking the employee to contribute how much is it going to be. How many employees are there? If there are only 10 employees and everybody gives 500 rupees, it's 5,000 rupees. Nobody is going to give 1 lakh rupees from their pocket, right? It's going to be a small amount. Typically, right, even in this pandemic, people gave 1 day of their salary, right? So again, not a, even if you get a sum of money, what is the long term solution? The money will run out unless there is a source of money that is established, right? And what is the source of money? A future job somewhere. And again, so compared to that, I mean, keeping that in mind, future jobs are best had by education or vocational training. Yeah, yeah. All of that decision making is relative and contextual, right? In real life is way more complicated with way many variables and your personality playing out, right? In hundred and thousand ways. I mean, for example, I know there are conflicts happening in my negotiations or whatever, and I know the right thing to do is just I mean, it's very easy the right thing to do, but my own personality or whatever I've grown up on, this is the right thing, I mean the other right thing to do according to your personality gets in the way, and then you don't care about the I mean not ethical but the more practical thing to do because you have a personality and you want to stick to it. So real life is not as easy as this is still very very easy. If you're finding that decision making, write it down somewhere that decision making was, I found it very difficult. I tell you, 5 years later, your day to day decisions will be more difficult than this, right? If you're working, especially, or starting a company or anything like that. So, so we have to make a decision like we actually care about them. Yes, I mean that's my recommendation for any reading oriented task. Really get into the story, become a participant in the story, be very well aware of the story, and mostly it will not be a problem. Some questions will be tricky, which is such as life. Uh, Only two questions again. Okay, let's try the next one. So same story as earlier. Waiting for your answers, guys. Pay attention to the question stem, least amenable to misuse in the future. You want a policy that works in any given situation in the future and is not manipulated or misused. Sharwani says, E. Rohan says, E. Prakhar says, why not 3 and 5? Which question are you talking about? The previous one. 5 is not a long term solution. You get money, but then money runs out very quickly. You will realize this soon. So, this is the next question, right? E. Everybody has given E. Yeah, and it's a good choice because it basically it says we will see. We'll see in the future what the situation is. We'll constitute a committee with fair representation from all stakeholders, which is always a good idea to decide on the course of action based on the specifics of the case. And what do I mean by specifics? Somebody joined your company 2 days back and then there was an accident and he died, right? Are you supposed to now take care of his whole family for the rest of his life? Ideally, as a mystical human being, everyone should take care of everyone else all the time, right? But in reality, are you like under obligation to take care in such a situation, or are you supposed to take care of someone who has been working in your company for 45 years and is a stellar performer and he died on the job? Dacoits were entering your company and firing, and he came in between and took 3 bullets for the company. Right now, do you want to give their family member a job? Yes, I want to give them because I owe them my life. But if somebody came in yesterday and they were bunking work and sitting and they were going on a joyride and then there was an accident and they were drunk, right? They were drunk in office hours and they went driving and they died. Am I responsible too much? No, not really. Once again, hashtag Mahakal. Everyone should be responsible for everyone, but such is life. So E works for me perfectly. Is the most because everywhere else the firm should provide one job to any direct dependents of the deceased employee. I want more details about the deceased employee, whether he's a long-term employee, he's just joined, whether he was a devoted loyal employee, or was he like a middling person, just barely managed his job, right? The firm should provide one job to any dependent. Again, if the employee dies during service. So now notice this is better than this. That any death, I will give a job. This says, okay, if there is a death in service, I will give a job. So if I just gave you option A and option B, right, then you would say you would have gone for option B. See, the firm should provide one job to any dependent if the family does not have any other support and employee dies during service. So again, it looks better than the previous one, but then finally you come down to E, which says, okay, I will see. I will see what the situation is. I will include all the stakeholders, that means family members, maybe some members of the organization, the CEO, etc. Uh, Yeah, then if I don't go for E, then I still like D because I've already looked at how it's a good solution that I will provide pursuing good education and employment, right? But again, if you look at between D and E, it doesn't cover the death aspect, the employee has died in service or not. Um yeah, so E would be my perfect choice. Okay, try more. Try more. I think one of these we tried already. Yeah, this was very interesting. I think some I might have discussed this with some people already via chat or something, but such a lovely, fun question. Like it's a joy to participate in such a test. You'll feel good after coming out, irrespective of the score. You'll feel good while you take the test. So the story is on the screen. I don't think formatting is needed. Shubham says ideally a company wouldn't go for both education and employment. Sorry, I have not don't have that question on the screen, but I don't think any of the options covered. Oh yeah, this first question was on the community tab as well. Was a couple of days back. Rose is the queen of Kingdom A. Emily is the queen of Kingdom B. Both share a common border. So A and B are together, they have a common border. They also share a border with Kingdom C. Draw it out for yourself if you would like that. A much larger kingdom ruled by King Jonathan, who has expansive ambitions. Okay, great. Though individually their armies were no match to his might, together their armies were more powerful than King Jonathan's army. So if the two queens stick together, they are stronger than Jonathan's army. Jonathan's kingdom also bordered by Kingdom K on the opposite side, making Kingdom C a buffer between A and B. So I hope you work the story out. Kingdom K is ruled by King Somersault, who united a group of warring and belligerent tribes under his aegis. Aegis means shield. Kingdom belligerent means warlike. Kingdom K and Kingdom C had continuous skirmishes with each other. So K and C keep fighting. Four characters in the story, two queens and two kings. I hope you draw the geography in your mind. Now the question was, अभी तो मैंने बहुत एप्स बना लिए हैं ब्रो. ये तो बचपन में करना चाहिए था. से इसको एक सेकंड लगते हैं ऐसे मतलब ऐसे ऐसे करने में बस. हाँ जी. So, question number 7 on the screen. Jonathan realized that his limited arms and ammunition to fight on all three fronts simultaneously. Therefore, he planned to double the arms and ammunition, which will take a few years. When this news reached Emily and Rose, they held a secret meeting to discuss the situation. What should they do? The Jonathan person is planning to double his ammunition, which will take a few years. So, what should these queens do? Because we know he has expansive ambitions. और पता नहीं ये आकर्षित की मॉम तो बोल रही थी कि एकदम स्टड टाइप हूँ मैं लेकिन आकर्षित इतना अपसेट क्यों है मुझे नहीं पता. आई एम कंफ्यूज बिटवीन वन एंड टू वन एंड टू. ओके. Ram says B should meet and sign a pact, but 2 should be correct. What apps? Sharwani says D. Vishal says D. Rohan says B. Okay, tell me something. You have read that this King Jonathan is expansive ambition. That means he wants to attack the other kingdoms essentially. And now you also know, imagine you are the queen, that he's planning to double the arms and ammunition. Now, what is the point of trying to sign a peace pact? You already know he has plans to attack you, and his plans are so clear that he's doubling his ammunition. Now, you're saying that we should sign a peace pact. So a lot of people, I think, they do this. They think because that decision making somewhere they think ethical morality, etc. And peace is great. Peace is great on equal terms and equal footing. If you're being attacked, right, like somebody's slapping you and you say, okay, come, let's be peaceful, is not always the ideal situation because you're essentially encouraging him to attack you even more. So B is problematic. Somebody has already, his tendency, and you also know that he's doubling. I mean, his current immediate plan. So going for a peace thing is not going to work for me, right? So I hope why B is not working is clear. Emily and Rose should send arms and ammunition to Somersault for the next few years. Uh, okay, so it again on the surface everything looks good. Okay, that yeah, enemy of my enemy is my friend. But remember the definition of Kingdom K Somersault also, warring and belligerent tribes, right? So once he wins against that Jonathan King, he's going to next go for the queens because they are warlike, belligerent people. So sending more arms to a person who's going to be your eventual enemy can be problematic for you, right? Shubham says, by signing a peace pact, couldn't we delay his plans for a while? Actually, you should read up about the Second World War and how Hitler was. Hitler basically told everyone that he's going to conquer Europe, but England kept trying to sign a peace treaty with him. No, no, it's okay. So once the person is in a mood, he's expansionist and he's doubling up on his army. He's not in a mood for peace. You might go to him, but it's not going to be a very good choice, right? Suddenly one day, if you go to him and say peace pact, will he say, okay, my ambitions are now gone. Let's all be friendly. I've been given a personality note, right? Expansive ambitions. That's all I need. His plan is to expand, and if I'm the queen, I'm in the way, right? So, no, peace is not a good option in this case. Peace between equals. This is definitely a bad choice. The two queens should ignore the news. Why? Because eventually they're going to come your way, right? The war is going to come. Ignoring is not an option, so not going to work for me. So, the best option is D because currently they are stronger. War is imminent. It is best to get into it right now. They are stronger than J. Sort him out and then deal with the future as it goes along. Somebody said something. Anubhav. A is like A is like what Aurangzeb did to win Delhi. How did Aurangzeb win Delhi? Aurangzeb was born to Delhi. Okay, yeah, he did fight with his brothers to win. But yeah, okay, I might be wrong. Sorry. So Shubham says okay. Arov says, but sir, doubling needs time, and anything less than war can give them time. But after the doubling, there is a war only, no, because he's doubling his arms and then coming for you, right? So it's definitely going to be a war anyway. And what do you need the time for? If right now you're stronger, war is going to happen. Just go for it and attack Jonathan immediately. Though when I picked this choice, when I looked at this question first, and I first picked this, ki, yeah, it's best to, then I thought again, ki, no, I'm very aggressive anyway. Like in like video game or life, I'm like, take the risk, go for the offensive and everything. So then I actually changed my answer, but I know my mistake. So stick to that, right? Why not see? They should also double their armies. Uh, why wait for doubling? Okay, so Jonathan will double and they will also double, and they will be a little ahead of Jonathan, maybe or equal to Jonathan, and Jonathan is then going to go for, or Jonathan will double further, right? if you want to get sort the situation out, it is best to just wrap the situation now, which is because it's going to happen anyway, whether it happens in 5 years or 6 years or 10 years as such. Right? Or that is my reasoning. Now, think about it. You might realize that no, I will in my country. I would just not attack. I would keep doubling my armies and maintain my parity as such. Right? Question number 8 is on the screen now, waiting for your answers. Right. So Sharwani says Aurangzeb took help from his brothers to kill other brother Dara Shikoh and then killed them too in the end. Yeah, correct. So that's why I fixed my answer because I remember that there was a conflict to get the seat. Yeah, and such a interesting, fun strategy, actual war strategy question. Question number 8. Jonathan aims to invade and annex Kingdom K for once and for all. Which of the following options will best enable him to accomplish the ambition? So D, and D. Actually, yeah, so I think the big hint was available in the question also. Any other answers? A. So some people have A as answers. Great. So you guys are saying that he should request the cooperation of Queen Rose and Queen Emily, and then when he has won over the other warring tribe kingdom, he should then attack Queen Rose and Queen Emily. He should sign a peace pact with Queen Rose and Queen Emily. Even so, somebody says that because the queens are not expansive by nature, therefore they will agree to the peace pact or whatever, right? The queens are not expansive, but they know he is expansive. So will the queens be willing to just sign up with him? And if you looked at my logic earlier, that signing a peace pact, I when I was the queen earlier, I was like, no, this is not going to work for me at all, right? So same logic in the backwards direction. The queens are not going to uh, help me because they know I'm expansive. They know my plans already. Yeah, why would the queens now sign a pact when they know I'm a Mino? That means, yeah, I think it's a reasonable answer. Actually, I'm not very sure. I don't remember checking my own answer for this, but it looks like a good choice. So I'm with people who say D. We'll check the answer in a second. This one I think is easy. Try it out. King Somersault was growing tired of the warring tribes, who slowed down the overall economic development of Kingdom K, which is the best option for King Somersault to focus on economic development. So warring tribes, they slow down economy. What to do to best boost the economy? We'll confirm the answer in a second. Okay. Hello. Akashit's mom called again. She's so fat that she's got her own gravity. Looks like a good choice. Align with Jonathan to eliminate one or two of the tribes to instill fear in the others. Jonathan is an expansive player. He's already in conflict with Somersault. Skirmishes keep happening. Suddenly, I'll declare him a friend and start attacking my own tribes. Not going to work too well, right? C, C, C. Everyone has given C, C, C. I agree too. C is perfect. And it's a reasonable choice that, okay, to keep everyone happy, there will be a competition with each plant named after a different tribe. So everyone's, respect and honor will be in place. So it looks like a good choice for me. So let's check the answers. Was it D? Yeah. Was it D? Yeah. Great. So D was the answer for the previous question, and C is the answer for this last one. How many have you done today? Three sets. Let's try one more. Set one. I think I tried this question earlier with some other people. So my contention as earlier that it's a critical reasoning game and a simpler critical reasoning game actually. One more question, guys. This is the last one because anyway, I think the people that I did the class for, I think I have forgotten to inform them, so I'll have to do it again. Uh, so last one, and then see you tomorrow or Thursday. Satyender heads a branch of microfinance company. The company provides small size loans catering to rural households. Okay. As the head of the branch, he supervises three collection officers, Palani, Sayed, and Godwin. Palani was recently transferred. Sayed feared Palani's transfer may pull down the performance of the branch as he felt Palani was transferred due to his poor performance in the previous branch. Which of the following information will most likely assuage Sayed's fear? Assuage means to placate, mollify, reduce his fears, basically, placate him. Which one? This question, this is a XAT 2018 exam question, so it will be there in almost all courses, I think. Yash says E, Mahindra says E, Mahindra. Shravani says E, Anubhav says A होना चाहिए. A says, in the past 12 years as head of branch, Satyender has exceeded targets every time. My counter argument, and you have to run this in your own head all the time. The counter argument would be yes, Satyender has exceeded it every time last time, but all those times Palani or a person like Palani who is here because of bad performance was not there. So even if Satyendra is great, but this newcomer will pull down the performance, is still valid or still holds true. So A does not work for me. That 2020 was a nightmare. Should we do that paper as a practice? Yeah, why not? Guys, what feels like a nightmare on a given day, you will realize 15 days later that no, it wasn't that bad. And if it's like a true nightmare, cat scores are this year are a classic example of that. Everybody came out very, very stressed. And even right now, everybody's got, they've got an inkling of their scores and they're still stressed, a lot of them, but come the percentile day, they will realize that even those low scores have given them fairly high percentiles, right? So if it's truly difficult, it's difficult for everyone. Don't worry about that. But otherwise, for training purposes, there are like those seven. I mean, don't go for cat that 20, but go for the 10 years before that. That has a very distinct style, and all the papers are very similar to each other mostly. Um Questions are different, but the pattern, the thought process behind it is very, very similar. So no, you can skip that 20 and do the rest of them. Yash says, yeah, that 20 wasn't too bad because people got XLR at a score of 23. That means if it's so difficult, if the scores are also, you have to get three, four questions right uh, in each section, right? But my concern is not that, at least not today. It is just this story and participating with this story only. So, A, somebody said A should be the answer. I hope I explained why A is not going to work. Where to get access to last 10 years paper? There is a booklet available, last 10 years paper, available on Amazon, 300 rupees or something. Buy one of those, or your major, all your coaching classes will have uh, exam papers. I don't have it. I have only RC and decision making questions as part of the course as such. Because maths, nothing new happens. It's the same. Johnny says, I got something, I didn't get anything. I don't know whether you applied to colleges or not. Or nor am I backing that score of 23. Again, we're missing the point altogether. My focus is here, right now. So A is not going to work for me, and some people have given E as the answer. So great. That if I tell you that okay, this year calculating the branch's performance, the branch head has the choice to exclude the new joinee's performance. That means no matter what Palani does, it won't affect the overall score or the benchmark or whatever, and therefore Sayed should not be fearful. Any other choice that we want to debate? Any other choice quickly, or we are kind of option B. The branch's performance has been good for the past 10 years. Saeed has joined the organization 3 years back. What does this tell me? Nothing. Again, the same problem. The branch's performance has been good. Sayyed has been there for 3 years. So it is kind of saying, no, Sayyed, you are not the one responsible for all the great performance. But the question wasn't that. Sayyed is fearful that this new guy will bring down the performance. That the past performance has been great doesn't tell me anything about the future performance with this new suspect guy who's not a good performer. So the sorry, I think somebody said B and I'm reading C. Let me read B again. Palani has been top performer in the organization. His performance has deteriorated only in the last 3 years. Again, with this, he was a top performer, but in the last 3 years, it has deteriorated. That means currently it is in a state. The latest data says that it is deteriorated. Whether he was good or not earlier doesn't matter right now, right? So Sayyad's fear is still valid. So Sayyad, if you tell him this, that no, no, bro, Palani like was a good performer. So what will Sayyad immediately say? Sayyad will say, was na baba. What about now? Today I know that he's a bad performer. So this is also not going to work for me. I hope it's also clear to be. Yeah, option B actually supports the doubt he has. So yeah, somebody said that's not the option B. I've now read the option B, and for bonus, I've also done option C. Ask once, get twice. Are we okay with that? I am in space right now, guys. You can see the Great Wall of China and Akashit's mom. Anubhav says, how can we say excluding new Chinese? Let's say if the when the final report card is coming out, you say we will not look at this person's score to calculate the overall score. So even if that person is bad, your overall score will not get affected. Sayyad's own score will not get affected, and that's why he's okay with this, right? So that's it for this, I think, mini-ish session, or it's been longish already. More that decision making coming soon, some for YouTube and a lot more for the course page. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that's it for the day. Enough. The next question is exactly the same, I think. If you want, I'll post the link. I'll put up the PDF on the Telegram thingy. So, oh yeah, it's not on the screen right now. So that's it for the day. See you guys really soon. Uh, why some videos removed from playlist for so that they are available for selling, so that after the selling, I'll get money, and from that money I will make more videos. So I can't make stuff unless I sell stuff. So that's why. So yeah, so that's it for today. Follow the Telegram thingy link for updates, etc., and these file shares on decision making or logic and reading and whatever not. If you're a course member, log into the XAT decision making course. It's already pretty loaded, and more frequently, loading will begin soonly. Even this was part of it, but I'll cancel this session because I think members have not quite. I did not schedule it well. So that's it for the day. I will see you guys really soon. Eat eggs, bro, and don't sit in front of the computer. This grows. The blue light is very bad for your